Oh, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Third and Atlantic Studios. Your host, Joe, that's me, and some guy, Ed. Edison. Edison.
I I I thought I'd get a win, a game in the win column before the Jags would, and obviously that didn't happen. Yeah,
it didn't look great. Those first three games, the early games coming in, it did not look great. It did not look great at all.
Like, this is the same. It's the same thing that's been happening. You keep on winning the close games, and it's pissing me off. There were 3 overtime games last week, and you know what you went?
3-0.
3 and fucking 0. That's what you went. That's the main reason I'm pissed off. 2 of those games, if they went my way, I would have won last week. But so as we like to do, we like to do, the way this works is that me and Joel pick games for every week. We only allowed to, you can only pick one matchup, and then the other person has the other team, more or less. So we do it in a draft format. And Joel's 7 picks from last week, they went 5-1, and my picks went 4-3.
Wait, my 7 picks went 5-1.
Sorry, 6-1. Sorry.
Yeah, let's get the winning record correct, please.
And the good thing for you actually is the one that you got wrong was your last pick, which was Chargers. Ravens, which again, to be fair to us, it dropped all the way to the bottom because we felt it could have gone either way. But then the Ravens,
but it did not go either way.
Smoked them.
No, it did not go either way at all.
Smoke. Chargers were riding so high, and Ravens had quite a few injuries, and you thought, maybe this could be the Chargers coming out party, that a big win over a big AFC elite team. That didn't happen. Did you catch much of that?
Which one was that one? That was Sunday night, innit? Like Monday morning-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But I went in thinking, okay, it's a close matchup. I'll, wake up, watch the highlights, maybe look at the score afterwards. I wasn't happy. Let's put it that way. I just wasn't happy. Because it was looking bad. You know what? Because normally I stay up for as long as I think I'm good. So if I'm winning heavily, I maybe won't stay up. If I've got nothing to do the next day, I might stay up. But if I'm at that point, it wasn't looking too great for me. You were winning most of the games, the Thursday nights, the early schedules. So I was like, maybe just go to bed, sleep it off, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
When I woke up, it was looking good.
Yeah. It was looking much better for you.
In fact, it was great.
I went 4-3 for my 7 picks. The incorrect picks is I picked the Bills over the Titans. Titans against the Jags didn't look too good until it got to the end of the 4th quarter. So that's why, because they had so many injuries, and the Bills were on a roll, arguably the best team in the AFC, depending who you ask. And I thought, you know what, this is a surefire Bills win. Obviously, Derrick Henry heard me and decided otherwise. Fuck it out.
That was the what?
Oh my days.
I think I woke up early, and when I woke up about 3 or 4 o'clock, I looked at for some reason I was like, let me just look, and I was seeing stuff on Instagram of the game. Scrolled through a little bit, and I obviously went to check the score, and I was like, it's not finished yet. Okay, that's not too bad. Went to the app to check the score, and was like, I think the Bills were winning by 10 points.
Yeah,
at that point in the 4th quarter. So I think I may have still been sleeping, but that was what I thought I saw. I was like, okay, might as well just turn this off then. I'm not going to put it on to watch the end and watch my videos. I was like, whatever. I wake up and the score is very different. In the 4th, this was in the 4th, and Derrick Henry just got worse and worse. That last Tannehill drive, to me, he looked Brady-ish.
That's exactly very similar thing that happened against the Jags. We kept Henry on lock for the first half. Robinson had more yards than him, etc. When it came to the 4th quarter, he went beast mode. I'm not sure if because the defense was tired or whatever the situation was. Mm-hmm. He went ham in that 4th quarter, which is so impressive for a running back. But yeah, considering all the hits he's getting throughout the game, but fuck me.
But he's one of them ones. The more you hit him, it just comes off worse for you. He's still ready for contact. He still wants to contact in the 4th. You probably don't. I'm not gonna. Most humans won't.
The other two games I got incorrect was I picked the Panthers over the Vikings. I don't want to talk about too much. So fucking don't care about. To be fair, I was higher on the Panthers, but then it seems Christian McCaffrey's injury really like the drop off for their offense seems so big. And then the final game, which was the Raiders Broncos, I thought, fuck it, let's take the Broncos. Didn't expect Raiders to perform the way they did. But you know what? Credit to them for the way they performed and putting the win out. I wanted to touch on the point that you were 3-0 in the overtime games.
Yeah.
So you had the Vikings, I had the Panthers, but the Vikings won.
Mm-hmm.
You took the Steelers in overtime and you took the Cowboys in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cowboys, although Patriots had a couple moments when they could have won, Cowboys dominated that and it should not have won overtime, but still you won that, which annoyed me. And then Steelers, Seahawks. Oh my gosh.
That game should not have gone into overtime. If we were the Steelers of old, that game would have ended it in normal regulation time. We would have choked them off. Boom, done. End of normal time, go home.
But we let them back still had a chance. They still had a chance. And that guy, TJ Watt, oh my days. Where would you lot be without him?
Where the Browns are?
God, he is just such a game changer. He makes game-changing plays.
Ridiculous.
Like, it feels week in, week out, he's making game-changing plays. Like,
and that's why you pay him the big bucks.
Yeah. I mean, again, I wouldn't say worried, but I was interested to see how we perform with Bud. I mean, I know Bud Dupree was injured for like the second bit of the season last year, but in fact, he's still putting up this production when they know he's the biggest threat on their defense. Love it.
That last turnover, the last sack, the last strip sack, he at one point was triple teamed in that very play and still got a strip sack on the back end. So do with that information what you will.
I just want to see what hype level you're at. Is he better than Aaron Donald?
For the most part, Aaron Donald would have sacked Gino for a loss because he's coming through the middle and they would have got him. TJ had to go round the outside. Okay,
that was not the question.
Come back round.
That was not the question. I just want to see how on the gas level.
It's easier to.
I just want to see the gas level.
It's easier to get rid of TJ than it is to get rid of Aaron Donald. So I don't think that's a fair question.
Who's better, AD or TJ? If you had to draft them for one game, who you taking?
I think the last two defensive players of the years should have gone to TJ Watt.
So your answer is TJ Watt?
TJ should have been the last two defensive players of the years.
Cool. Anyway. So yeah, those were the 3 overtime games. We'll get to the other games once we make our picks. But yeah, overall you went 9-5, which those fucking 3-0 games, if they went my way, I would have won, but they didn't. So anyway, which gives us the overall total this year, finishing week 6 of your 4-0-2, and I'm 0-4-2. Great. Do 2 draws count as a win for me? Can I count as a win?
Definitely not.
Okay, fine.
The good news is, though, Urban didn't get fired.
Is that good news or bad news?
I mean, depending on who you ask. For the rest of the league, it's great news.
There's one thing I want to say that I forgot to say last week. There was a play against the Titans where it was like a close call, but the call went towards the Titans, and then the whole bench, everyone, the whole team was like, challenge it. And watching like the replays, I think Urban knew that it's not going to get overturned. But my whole team is saying, do this. And I think I have to do it just for the team spirit sort of thing. And I thought, I'm not sure if that's happened to you before. Have you seen that in a game where like the coach is just under the cosh so much and there's all these rumors how like the players aren't rating him, there's no respect there, blah, 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 blah. And he's doing it for the sake of the team, but he knows the challenge isn't going to be accepted.
He knows it won't go nowhere.
Yeah, and he just literally did it just to be in everyone's good books. So he got his first win in London.
Can he win in America is the big question moving forward.
Yeah. Trevor got his first win in London as well. That'll be like a cool little stat. Where did Trevor Lawrence get his first ever career win? If he becomes like an all-timer, whatever. It's pretty cool thing to say he got his first win in London.
Then what I was going to say was, where did he get his only win this season?
Yeah, Joel, I know we've only got one win. It's not a funny joke, all right? Can we move on to the next bit?
I mean, that's the trivia question. In the 1-16, the first ever 17-game season, the Jags went 1-16. Where did they win that match?
Imagine that Trevor Lawrence plays a whole year of football and the only game he won was outside of America. So it was on a completely different continent.
It's actually like, the build-up in the games, because it's obviously a very different kind of vibe and different build-up. They get to talk about different things. So like hearing majority of the players, all of them in their 20s. We're talking like maybe youngest 23, 22 and up. And they're talking about how the first time that this is their first passport that they got just for this game. Like, you are multimillionaires and you still haven't left the country. That's the good stuff about the international games.
And again, it's just America, and like I'm assuming a lot of them never really had the chance to travel abroad. I was listening to Chips yesterday with Draymond Green and DeMar DeRozan, and I just found DeMar DeRozan's story so fascinating. He was talking about how he wanted to stay at his like high school, college, his local high school for basketball. Then when he went to college, he wanted to stay local, so he went to USC, and then he spoke about because he just wanted to stay local. He wanted to stay local. And then he gets drafted by the Raptors, which is the most non-local team you could have gone to. Like not just like I don't know, Florida or somewhere in the Midwest, or I don't know, somewhere by the Atlantic, whatever. He went to a completely different country, and he said he got his passport like literally 2 or 3 days before the draft. I was like, oh shit, yeah. And I'm assuming some of the players would have had a similar situation.
Does that mean that means someone told him like, now you should get your passport? Right.
Yeah, because he had to do a workout. He had to do a workout for Toronto anyway. So I was like, okay, cool. I need to go to Toronto. I need to get my passport.
Yeah, I think it was Tua was the one that they highlighted because obviously he's the most prominent one as the Dolphins QB, but he needed a passport just for the game. And like stuff like, I need to tell my bank that I'm abroad, so when I have to buy the team meal, when I have to buy the team meal, like it doesn't get blocked for fraud.
The interesting thing about Dolphins is that they play again this week. I always thought that if you're playing the London game, you get the next week is your bye. But Dolphins are playing. So Dolphins are playing again this week. That's
the main setup. Obviously, there's special compensations. Sometimes there's like think Pat said when Indianapolis were in London, they said they begged to leave first because the order you leave is apparently based on if you win or not. So the Jags won this game, they'll be able to leave first. The Dolphins have to stay another night and leave the next morning. So they said, he said one time, Chuck Pagano came on and was like, one time we begged the league, is there a way we can make it so that no matter who wins or whatever, we come out and leave. We leave first, or that night even. Or so both teams could leave that night or whatever. And they said the only way is if we take away your bye week or reschedule your bye week for a different week. I was like, first of all, that don't make sense. Because what time I leave the airport, how does that make... If both teams leave the airport, I leave for the airport and fly, why should that take away a bye week or move that bye week further on? But they said, hey, that's the way it's got to be done. So I guess the Dolphins left that night and they have a game.
I think Jags left that night as well because I saw the Snapchat. Like I was just like not Snapchat. I saw the Instagram. A couple of players just want to see if they were doing anything in London, which like general was like if they were in London, like what they're up to, sort of thing. And I think a lot of them were in Florida that evening. Should we wrap that week 6 and move on to week 7?
Yes, sir.
So again, as I mentioned, Joel, you're leading again. So for when we do our week 7 picks, you'll get the first pick again. Fucking hell, I've never had a first pick. But yeah, we'll move on to week 7 now.
More of the same, please.
So week 7 picks, Joel. We have got 6 teams on buys this week. We have got Bills, Cowboys. Pardon?
A lot of big names.
Big names and the
pickers.
Steelers.
Yeah, and big names and easy pickers that are normally
Bills, Cowboys, Chargers, Vikings, Jags, and Steelers are all on a bye this week, which means 3 less games. So now we are picking, how many games is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games. Yeah. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games you got this week. So that means it's an odd amount. Should we do by percentage? So whoever gets the highest percentage of their picks correct, because you'll have an extra game to pick.
Keep it the same. We did it last year the same.
Fine.
Just raw results. You have a better chance that way because I could flop. I have a high percentage of flopping.
No, you don't. You have the power in your hands, unless you're relying on
it's the last game. It's the last game that no one wants anyway.
To be fair, last two picks. I
got the last one wrong.
Week 6 we both got our last picks wrong, but then week 5 we both got it right. Week 4, both wrong. Week 3, both right. Oh, I like the comparison. So it can depend. It can be Could be hot or cold, right? So you got the first pick. Which matchup are you taking? Which team are you
So
taking?
I'm going straight away. I'm hitting the revenge game. Rams versus the Lions. I'm taking the Rams. Matt Stafford is going to torch them up. Jared Goff needs to step up, as now even the rest of his team are looking around and they're not doing well. He's not been a difference maker. I believe it's Rams at home as well. Yeah, the homecoming for Goff. He never played well when he was there. So let's go.
Yeah, that was going to be my number one pick as well. But you know what? I'm going to be rooting for the Rams. Just because you got the Rams, I'm going to be rooting for the Lions. Like, I do feel bad for Goff. He is getting dragged. I was dragging him at the start of the season, but he is getting dragged. I think you would love that. At this point, apart from the Super Bowl or like the playoff games, this will be the one regular season game that he would want to win more than any other. Yeah. Like come on, Goff.
Guess what? And he hasn't won any of them either. So here we go.
I think I mentioned to you, he's never won a game without Sean McVay as his coach, which
that's rough life.
Okay, so with my first pick, well, you took the one I wanted. So with my pick, I am taking the undefeated Cardinals at home against the Texans.
That shouldn't be allowed. That definitely shouldn't be allowed, because you've been on the Cardinals this whole time. You've been against them, saying they're a fake team. They're not that. They're not this.
That's a little bit extreme. I
don't want to hear it from you.
I just wasn't to pick them. I just wasn't convinced against them again for their first couple of weeks. I wasn't convinced their first couple of weeks.
They definitely should not be allowed to be your first pick. I don't want to hear it.
Do you know what's going to happen now? The Texans are going to whack them. I'm going to look like an absolute dickhead.
It'll be the Ed curse. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, Cardinals, to be fair to them, they have been performing a lot better than I thought they were at the start of the season. Although the Browns they smacked up the Browns, but the Browns have been quite disappointing. I think arguably one of the most disappointing teams so far this year.
But you said they had a couple close losses that they could have potentially won those games.
Yeah, but still, people expect them to take a leap. Like, I think I saw, like you, I think. I said I thought they were going to win the AFC North because there were so many question marks about the Ravens. They had so many injuries going in. It's like, oh, what the hell's going on? Mm-hmm. And this was like time for the Browns to peak. Baker Mayfield is on his contract year. Like in most American sports, this is his contract year. Yeah.
I mean, he's still probably gonna. He's gonna be a Brown next year. That's not like he's gonna. Get
but like contract. This is your contract. This is where this is where people break out to make their most money. Like it happens not just in American sports. It happens in the Premier League as well. Aubameyang on his contract year thought he was mini Thierry Henry.
Anything he touched went in, and now.
But then he
look at
shit. Yeah, he done shit past last year and this year.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Okay.
That's my first pick.
Yeah, fair play. All right, I'm going to. I'm going to let that roll. I'm going to go with the Bucks at the Bears. I'm going to take the Bucks at home to the Bears.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still think Justin Fields came out good. He did play well. He's going to be good. The question is when. Can they get him away from whoever is calling these, terrible teams?
Get away from Matt Nagy.
Getting away from these terrible play calls, all that kind of thing. Terrible play design. As soon as they can actually tailor a system to him, and someone will come in and do that, then I think that's when he'll show his all-star potential.
Yeah. No, there isn't too much to say to that. I mean, Aaron Rodgers does own the Bears, but Tom Brady could easily own them as well, I'm assuming, this week. Yeah, that's calm. Yeah, calm. Standard matchup. For my second pick, I'm going to let that one slide. And I'm going to go for the other one. So I'm going to take Washington at the Packers and take Green Bay.
No. The little glimmer of hope when you said it in that order. Maybe you're going Washington. Oh
no, I'm pretty cold on Washington from the start of the season.
Yeah, that was my pick. That I'm not going to lie to you. If you let that whatever other one you're going for, this was going to be the first thing out of my mouth. Like, there's what else is there to say? They didn't score much against the Bears, but it's a rivalry game. You could expect that. Even the bad teams get up for them. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have looked good since week one. After that, disaster class, they've come and resumed the form that they were expected to have.
How does New Orleans have more wins in Jacksonville than the Jags do?
Because they were a decent team.
No, because they play the first game in Jacksonville. That's why.
And they are a decent team.
No, nothing. I think they got like 2 wins. Well, carry on. You'll go. Your
and one of them is in Jacksonville.
Go on. Your third pick.
I'm going to go with. Oh, that really threw a wrench in a spanner in the works. I'm going to go with the Patriots at home to the Jets. Do I have faith in the Patriots? No. I just have less faith in the Jets.
I still got a little bit of Patriot stock.
The way Matt, I feel bad for Matt because he's playing as you would expect, like a rookie QB, a good rookie QB to play, and this team is failing him. That's what I like, Mac.
Yeah. I was really impressed with that throw he made after that Trayvon Diggs pick six. I was like, shit, he went for it again and actually got it. I was like, fuck, fair
straight
play
over
him. And it was great placement, really great placement. Loved it.
He's doing all he can do. Like they are really letting him down. That's just it. They're letting him down. I don't know what's the reason for this, but they are letting him down.
Yeah, I mean, I expect Bill Belichick to beat the Jets as like a rule of thumb or like a rule of life, I guess. I am going to take a divisional matchup, which is why I let it slip a little bit. I am taking the Ravens over the Bengals. The Bengals are really good, but Ravens don't see. Lamar ain't messing around again this year. He is not faffing about.
Back on MVP form. We were both trying to let it slide, as much as possible. Obviously the person whoever was going to pick this up was going to pick the Ravens. The question is, because once again it's a rivalry game, people get up for that. The Bengals haven't been too bad this year, so it's just a matter of what Bengals are we getting, what Lamar, not Lamar, but what Ravens as a whole will be getting, because they do have some injuries. They have been playing well through the injuries, but as most teams, you could expect it would only last so long.
Bengals scraped the win against the Jags, bro. Fuck the Bengals. Right. So far, 6 picks in. We've picked all home teams. Your fourth pick.
Yes. So with that being said, I'm going to stay in the division and pick the Browns over the Broncos. Keep both of those streaks going, both home teams. Sticking with the home team. The Broncos just lost to the Steelers. So if you do NFL math, that means the Browns should be better than them. Is that true? We don't know. We're going to find out. But I have more faith. I like Teddy, but I have more faith in the Broncos than I do the Browns.
The Browns don't do the Broncos.
Browns don't do the Broncos. Sorry. Yeah. As you can tell, I'm not picking these scientifically. It's literally off feeling because these teams will let you down.
Yeah, Broncos slowly, surely let me down. Like I was pretty high on them at the start of the year, but then you'd be dropping. So I want to stay away from that one. So yeah, you do it for me. With my fourth pick, I thought you were going to go for this, and this is the one I really wanted. They were on a bye last week, another home fixture. I'm taking the 49ers over the Colts.
I mean, every time you pick against the Colts, sometimes, not every time, half of those times they pull a blinder.
You picked them in week 6, which you got correct against the Texans, but that was fair. Week 5, you picked the Ravens against them, which was correct. What else we got for the Colts? I picked the Dolphins to beat them, but then they won. I think that was one of my mares. And then what else have I done for the Colts? Yeah, you picked the Titans to beat them, which was correct. So actually, you picked them more than I have. I think I've just been more verbal about how much I don't like the Colts.
Yeah, it's a matter of picking them right. You have to pick your weeks, and pick your spots.
49ers coming off the bye week.
Yeah, but are they still got as many injuries as they did 2 weeks ago? Did they not? Did anyone come back in the bye week? Is what I'm really asking.
Even without the injuries, that's still even with the injuries, because the Colts do still have some injury. I think Quentin Nelson's still out.
Yeah.
The 49ers can still pull out wins. Like they are a much better overall team, I believe.
Okay, with that being said, I'm going to pull the trigger and go with the Saints over the Seahawks. I don't know what is telling me to do it. It's just
like
being
that.
done.
No, I like that because Saints are also coming off of the bye week. See, even though Geno Smith has looked quite good. I still prefer the Saints, but
the Saints
have been
and
inconsistent
down.
this year. Yeah,
so
the Saints have been inconsistent this year. Did you see that whole Shannon Sharp, DK Metcalf stuff?
Yes, I did, and now I just don't get where DK is coming from. Like, he didn't attack him. Like, Shannon didn't attack you personally. They just said, don't play hero ball at that moment in time, which literally everyone in the world was saying. But you went after Shannon Sharp. Literally, maybe the one guy in which you shouldn't have in that circumstance, you went after him. You could say any other journalist. Then you say, boom, oh, you're washed. Big man. He is where you want to be. He's where you want to
be. When Shannon Sharp saw that, he was like, okay, here we go.
You're washed. You're a washed up wannabe. My guy is in the Hall of Fame. At one point, people were saying he was the best in his position of all time.
I think when 10, 20 years from now, DK is going to look back and it's thinking, what the fuck was I doing? We all have that moments. I mean, I have those moments every month. I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
I get being upset, but just a little second, 1 second of thought would have been like, Shannon Sharp, Hall of Fame tight end. The position that everyone said, DK, you should move to if you were good at blocking. If he was good at blocking. So I don't get it. Shannon Sharp is the one guy you would match up with him and be like, I mean, when they were both, say they're both in their prime, people will still pick Shannon. So what's the beef? How are you washed up wannabe? He is wearing a gold jacket at 50 years old. You're washed up. He is 50 years old. And in the Hall of Fame. Not just some random guy. Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharp.
All right, last question. Who do you reckon will win in a fight right now?
Right now? You would have to say DK.
He's a bit younger and he's built as well, but Shannon is in tip-top condition.
Yeah, but he said himself he's not in fighting shape.
Yeah.
He's in suing shape. He'll call the police.
Cool. My fifth pick, so I've got 2 more picks left, and there are 2 teams that I really want to pick. Yeah. So I'm going to take the Raiders at home against the Eagles.
Okay. I think this one could be interesting for 2 reasons. And this is why I left it. 1, obviously the coaching situation. 2, Eagles have put in decent performances. But as you know, new coach comes in, you get a little boost. The question now is, how long does that boost? It works like 2 ways. You either crumble as a whole team or you get a little boost for a while. How long does that boost last? Is it 1 week, 2 weeks, rest of the season, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know how to pick them. So you please explain your reasons.
Yeah, at the start I haven't been, maybe it's a bit of confirmation bias, but I haven't been too impressed. Well, I didn't like the Eagles going into the year, and there's not much that made me think, oh, you know what, I reckon they can pull a couple wins out.
Fair enough.
3 more games.
3 more?
Yeah.
Yes, 3 more. There's this one that I've just been scrolling past because I don't know.
I know. Don't worry. I'm going to pick that game. I'm going to pick that game. Don't worry. I'm going to pick that game.
Oh, but there's that one that I don't want either. Like that's horrible.
The one you definitely don't want, I'm definitely picking that game. Just so you know.
I'm going to have to. Jeez. Okay. I'm just going to do it. I'm picking the Falcons at the Dolphins. I'm picking the Falcons at the Dolphins.
Absolute pagan. You absolute
I'm picking
pagan.
the Falcons. That wasn't the one I didn't want to pick, by the way.
That was the one I wanted.
Yeah, that's the team I don't want to pick, but that's not the matchup I didn't want to pick. Now that I have picked them, I know they're going to lose. So let's just, I might as well just cross that one out right now.
Absolute pagan. That is the one game I wanted. I thought, I'll let Sykes still never pick that. He would never pick the Falcons. So I thought, I'll take it with my last pick.
No, there comes a time in my life where you have to question your rules. If they're self-inflicted rules, Um, this situation was unwinnable. It's just unwinnable. Looking at the other two matchups, it's unwinnable. I just nothing says that we should pick the Dolphins in this time.
No. Unless like Brian Flores just went ham in training, was like, we are going to fucking fix up for this game against the Falcons. But again, coming off a bye week, Dolphins traveling from London to play again on the weekend. Oof,
it's not just traveling from London, it's traveling to London and then back in the matter of 5 days, essentially. Like, and no matter how much you try and keep on the same clock, and the fact that they changed the time zone, they changed the times of the London games, so you can't even like try and do the fake assimilation thing and play at the same time. Like, you're playing it at a time in which is different to what you would normally play, regardless of
sleep.
Regardless if you're playing on Thursday or Monday, or any time on a Sunday. So what they've done or what they're about to do is going to be hard. It's going to be hard. So you just have to pick the Falcons.
Final pick. My sixth pick. I am taking the Panthers over the Giants. Giants are still
no way.
No way. Although, why? What's wrong? Don't know why you're surprised by that. The Panthers got a pretty good defense. Again, it's similar with the Eagles. I didn't really rate them going into the season. They haven't done much to make me think, you know what, they can actually get some wins. So I was taking the Panthers.
I mean, that last week showing didn't deter you, no?
I mean, it was rough, but again, as I said, it's just the Christian McCaffrey thing is annoying that he is injured again. But I am hoping that I just really don't rate the Giants at all.
Mm.
Again, it was in overtime. Like, when a game's in overtime, like, there's, of course, there are no moral wins, whatever. But we've established that the Vikings are like a steroids version of the Falcons. You never know how you're going to pick them and how they're going to perform week in, week out.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I'm pleased with that pick, with where I got it in this, like my last pick.
Okay. I mean, that's fair enough. This one is a hard one. I have written down the team. What I'm going to say is no matter what logic is telling you at the moment, form of the teams, their playing styles, even the Chiefs are going to pull this back at some point. I believe that the Chiefs are going to turn around at some point. The question is
what
when.
Point? Yeah.
Yes, that is very when. Because last year we saw it. They essentially they're doing the same thing as they did this year. Just the only problem was last year they ended up winning these games. I don't know what has changed, but at one point these were the games that they were winning. Now they're the games that they are losing.
And the Titans in the regular season, past couple of years, they've been beating up on the good teams because they can have that possession. They can run a team to death. Need a couple plays on defense. And they can beat these bigger teams, which is what's been happening past couple of years. Yep. I'm not sure if that swayed your opinion, but
Derrick Henry doesn't get injured. Also, the question is, does he not get injured, or do they just not tell us of his injuries?
He is probably bruised the fuck up, but his size as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what his training regime is either.
He doesn't even come up on the injury report. So at some point, he's in his career, the way he runs, he must have been injured at some point, and he was still playing for it.
He was a second rounder.
Yes,
Heisman winner, second rounder.
Because what they said, Alabama running backs, they were scared of the Alabama running back.
Who are you taking?
I am
dragging it out. This is not X Factor.
I'm taking the Titans. I am taking the Titans. I just the logic, the numbers, right? The form right now, it's hard to pick against them. Just know that I know at some point the Chiefs are going to turn this around.
Not this week.
Hopefully not this week, but they will at some point.
Both our teams aren't playing this weekend, which means we can watch some other games. Definitely looking forward to that Lions-Rams game.
That's the first one going up. Oh, I'm telling you.
Red Zone and one other game. That's definitely one game up.
Oh, 100%. Like that is going to be, I think they're going to build around it for the most part. All the pre-game hype, going into the NFL game weekend is going to be about this matchup. I've already seen like a video talk about Matt Stafford talking about the matchup. So I assume that's the game that the NFL is going to be pushing this week.
I really wonder what Jared Goff thinks of Sean McVay, just in general. Just something I'm just curious about.
He's such a backstabber, probably. All this nonsense that you said to my face, and now look at you. Got a new girlfriend parading around, talking about I'm so happy and
dickhead. Anyway, yeah, cool. That's just something I just found interesting. Alrighty. That is it for this week. Oh, please. Who do you think will have more wins at the end of the regular season, me or the Jags? Considering I've got like a 50% of winning each week, or should do.
I mean, so should the Jags, apparently.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think the Jags.
Do you think Jags will have more wins than me this season?
Yeah, hopefully.
Fuck me. Well, it doesn't matter because unlike the Jags, I'm 100% guaranteed to make it to the playoffs. I will sacrifice all my wins for the Jags. I don't know. To win the Super Bowl? I mean, of course.
No.
Make the playoffs.
Would you sacrifice all your wins for the Jags to make playoffs as a wild card?
Yeah, definitely. Again, as I said, as long as we don't have back-to-back playoff losses against the Jags and the Browns, we're calm. So, yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, fair enough. All the same, new season coming up, new
which shitty franchise is going to knock you up this year in the playoffs if you make it? Fucking Bengals.
It don't matter about that because the quicker they knock us out, the quicker we get a new QB. So be very scared. If we get Rodgers, if they knock us out early and we actually have time to kind of like sweet talk Rodgers,
it'll be so funny. I can imagine all the rival fans wanting Aaron Rodgers to lose just so he leaves. Be like, please lose. Yes, get in. Yeah.
That's fair enough. Anyway, week 7 coming up. What would be 4-0-2 for me right now?
Yeah.
4-2 for you. Big week ahead. With these lower games, restricted games, I should say, with teams going on a bye, you really have to. It's another thing you have to think of. Another factor that comes into play. Different teams come off byes differently. For some people, it kills their momentum. For some people, it's a momentum starter. It's all up in the air at this point.
Alrighty. That's it. Catch you again next week.
Peace.